Add 30 minutes of this every single day. You'll get stronger. You'll build more muscle. You'll get leaner. You'll get smarter, and you'll be healthier. Want to guess what it is?
Sleep.
Steroids. No. 30 minutes of steroids. What is that?
Yeah, what is that?
You just hanging out.
You're on a drip.
With a timer.
Yeah.
You have 30 minutes
My
left.
3 minutes up.
I'm guessing sleep.
Fueled up.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
If everybody watching this
I was close.
right now consistently went to bed 30 minutes before they normally do, just try this for a week. Just go to bed 30 minutes before you normally do. Test it out. It will be the most, for most people watching this, it will be the most impactful thing you do for your fitness, for your fat loss, for your gains, for your testosterone, for everything. Just that one thing right there.
So what made me think of that is because it reminded me of, so I used to have to do this sometimes with clients, because when you tell a client, especially when they're struggling with the results, this or that, and you think it's related to sleep, like rarely ever do they think it's related to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
how do you hype that up for them?
Yeah. So what I would do is just be like, oh, well, here's the deal. Let's just like I would with food. Let's track and just see where you're at. So if you think you're good, okay, and I think there's room to improve there, let's just track and see where we're at. Okay, great. You give me your numbers. We get the average of the week. So you're averaging just a minute. Okay, so let's just set this goal now. For the next 2 weeks, we're going to get 30 more minutes or an hour. I normally would try and target an hour, knowing they'll probably fall short and you can only get 30 minutes. So it's like, let's try and get an hour more, which means let's go to bed an hour before what you normally would, and let's just see how you feel.
Life-changing.
Yeah.
By the way, it's life-changing on everything. And I do want to say this, okay, because everybody hears the whole, like, you need 7 to 8 hours of sleep. That's real quick. That's 7 to 8 hours of sleep. That's not 7 to 8 hours in bed. Yeah. So people will be like, "Oh, I'll get 7 hours if I go to bed right now." No, you'll probably get 6.5 because it takes like 30 minutes.
Uninterrupted sleep.
That's right. So so whatever the amount of time that you want to sleep, you need to go to bed before that because it takes time to settle into sleep. But I was talking to my friend. His wife is a psychiatrist. And we were talking about health. And she goes, "It's so crazy." So remember, she works with people with mental health issues. She goes, "It's so crazy." She goes, "I'm not exaggerating, Sal. 50% of them solve their anxiety and depression issues
just by sleep.
With sleep."
Yeah.
I said, 50%? She goes, "Yeah. If we can fix their sleep, half of them are so much better that they no longer have to seek treatment."
That makes a lot of sense.
It does make a lot of sense. And thinking about that makes me go like, God, what percentage of chronic issues would be solved if just two things were done? 30 more minutes of sleep, exercise one time, lift weights 1 time a week.
Oh God, that's the prescription.
Like literally, that's it. Literally, just let's shoot for 30 more minutes every night.
It's the opposite message.
And all full body lift weights once a week. That's it.
You know what's
I'm
crazy?
Tell you to do anything else yet. And I know there's people that are like rolling their eyes because they do way more than that. And it's just like, I'm talking about the average American.
Yeah, consistently.
Yeah, just did that.
And by the way, most fitness fanatics don't get good sleep either. So what's interesting is if you look at this, look at historically, we were far more active. We ate whole natural foods. Life was stressful. Okay, don't get me wrong. You go back 100 years, life was very stressful. But the average person slept a lot more. Mm-hmm. They had nothing to do when the sun went down. That's part of the reason. Sun goes down. They didn't have all these ways to distract themselves. You know what people used to do when the kids went to bed? They'd read a normal book. You ever try to read a normal book
and
past a certain time? You're going to go night-night because it doesn't keep you awake with the constant stimulation, the novelty, like scrolling on your phone or like Netflix will. There's no light.
Fast cuts.
Shining in your eyes.
Flashes.
People used to sleep on average an hour more in the past than they do today. And if you go back even further, even more than that. In the wintertime, before it was like common place to have all these, electricity, people slept like 10 hours. Mm-hmm. The sun went down, you used gas lamps, and it was like dark. Like try going around your house with gas lamps, and you just got tired. And when people just like, well, we got nothing else to do. It's cold. Let's go to bed.
Isn't it the last 2 or 3 hours where you actually get like deep REM sleep?
Yeah.
Like that takes that whole, first half to even get there.
But it's life-changing on every front. And the data, there's a lot of data on this. So I'm not just saying this because I know it with clients and all that stuff. But if you look at the data, helps with anxiety and depression. We talked about that. Your body's far better primed to build muscle and burn body fat. There's a few studies that show this, but one of my favorites is they took 2 groups of people. They had them eat the same calories. They were both in a calorie deficit. One of them got crappy sleep. One of them got great sleep. The group that had the crappy sleep lost twice as much muscle, not a little bit more muscle, twice as much muscle
crazy.
in a deficit than the other group. And the only difference was the lack of sleep. That was the only difference. Your behaviors change dramatically. Now, from a fitness perspective, your cravings go through the roof when your sleep is poor. You're more likely to seek out hyper-palatable foods that excite the senses when you have poor sleep. So you're going to crave foods that aren't necessarily as good for you. You're more likely to overeat because it is a stress response. Poor sleep is a stress response. Under stress, your body tends to seek out more calories because it's trying to protect you. And then again, muscle building, strength, injury. If you look at the data on what is most likely to predict injury in an athlete, poor sleep. Nothing predicts injury more. That's how crazy it is. If you want to dramatically increase your risk of hurting yourself, have one night of poor sleep and then go work out. That's more than warming up and priming properly, doing the wrong exercises. It's remarkable. So if literally for anybody listening and watching this right now, if you just did this, if you said, okay, put it in your schedule. Say, all right, this week right here, I don't got much stuff going on, so I have no excuses. I'm going to make it a point to go to bed. And I gave him 30 minutes as an easy target. 30 minutes before I normally do. I'm going to literally make myself lay in bed. I'm going to do 30 minutes to an hour before that, turn off electronics, get my body ready to go to sleep. Do it for a week. By day 3, you'll be tripping out. By day 3, you're going to be like, wow, what is going on? You will find yourself stronger in the gym by day 3. You'll find your cravings different. And if you extend this for 4 weeks, 6 weeks or so, change nothing else, you'll get leaner just from doing this one thing. And the cool thing about it is you're doing nothing. You're just sleeping. You know what I'm saying? Which is so incredible.
It's as easy as that.
Yeah, but what's funny about this is it's hard because there's so many things that are fighting for our attention that going to sleep is like, I just want to watch this last episode. Yeah. I just want to scroll
Consistently doing that is actually a lot harder than it sounds.
It is.
It completely is.
Yeah.
I'm experiencing this right now. Now, I make it a point to go to bed and get good sleep, but you guys know I have an issue with snoring. My wife complains about it.
Have you got your new CPAP yet?
I got it. I got a good CPAP machine is what I did. Before I had a crappy one and it was uncomfortable, and I got a good one.
The first one you got was expensive.
They're all expensive.
So
a good one's going to cost you $1,000 plus for a good one, for sure. So I got a good one.
You're not selling this well to me.
No, wait, dude, listen.
Sal's convinced he's going to get me to start.
Hey, bro.
Really?
Yes.
maybe if they had like one that was made in a Darth Vader mask or Darth Vader, you would actually wear it.
Probably would. Yeah.
It does sound. It does. It is a turnoff because you got to wear this thing, and then you're like, I got to wear this mask at night. But this is like day 4, I want to say. So now my wife sleeps in bed with me. She's like, yeah, there's no snoring whatsoever.
No morning nookie.
No, no. I mean, listen, are you having sex every day anyway?
Yeah.
Shut up. You're not having sex every day. Shut up, bro. It ain't hurting anything.
Whenever you're out of it, yeah. That's why I'm so happy.
In which case, I'm like, go ahead, throw it away. No, I'm maybe day 4 or 5, and I don't get an afternoon crash like I used to. I wake up, I feel like it's weird. It's like remarkably different. My performance in the gym is improving. I feel good. And again, I was making it a point to go to bed on time. For me, it was just poor sleep because of the breathing issues. You know, it's pretty wild.
So how do you have to schedule sex though? Then now, like, does that
why would I have to schedule it?
Well, because you're going to go to bed and you're going to like. For example,
I don't put it on while I'm in my room hanging out. I only put it when it's time to go to sleep. I put it on.
Well, that's also normally when you get in bed is also the time you have sex too. So wouldn't that be the same time? When you get,
I go to bed when it's time to sleep. I don't go to bed and chill. What are you guys doing in bed?
That's why I have sex in bed. That's what I normally do.
Yeah, I don't wear it when I have sex.
Huh?
I don't wear it when I have sex.
That's my point. It's like, so let's say normally, a normal day, let's say a non-sex day, you get in, you decide it's time to go to bed, you get in bed, and then you put your CPAP machine on. Explain to me how that's any different than that you say tonight I'm going to have sex. You just don't put it on.
Have a night guard.
And it's like a big.
I have sex first and then I put it on.
Do you have to talk? Do you have to schedule it? You have to bring it up. You have to be like, hey, honey, I'm not going to wear my CPAP right away because I'm planning on
sex. How does that work if you have a night guard too on top of that?
No, you don't wear the night guard unless I don't know if you have to because your teeth.
Yeah, I do.
I don't think it's that complicated. To be honest,
you're probably. I wonder if you're less likely. By the way, I was getting some heartburn and stuff. It's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
all
know,
that.
well, that's what my dad told me. He was trying
What's
to
your
pitch it
what's
like
your
that.
night guard thing look like?
So he doesn't bite his
It's
face
on the
off.
top. It just goes. It's just like a
mouthpiece?
Like a retainer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Could you do both?
Why? I don't see why not.
Oh my god, it'd be like
I mean, I don't see
I
why
can only
not.
imagine the noises.
You know, here's the thing. Obese people get a lot of CPAP, but so do muscular people, especially if you have developed necks. So really well-developed necks. You'll see this like wrestlers and football players. So it's not just
fat tongues.
Yeah, and if you build a lot of muscle, you're more likely to have this issue. That's the stat. That's just the data. That's just the facts. Yeah. By the way, what are you talking about? Anyway, I know for a fact nothing will stop your wife. It's you that has the issue. She's not wearing the machine.
I mean, no, I know
Katrina. I know she don't.
So
give a
I
shit.
tell you guys that
She'll rip it off your face.
I wear those nasal strips, right? So I wear those nasal strips, right?
Yeah.
When I have some congestion. I haven't been wearing them that often lately, but it's like hit and miss if I allergies are kicking up or something's going on.
Yeah.
I'll wear that. She thinks that anytime that I put that on, that's me signaling I'm ready. I'm trying to go to sleep. I'm getting ready. This is the last thing I do is I put that on. And so if I put that on,
she thinks you're telling her subtly.
no sex. Yeah, that she thinks that means I guess
the
we're not
sweatpants for me.
Yeah, so she's like so I need to so a lot of times what I will do is if I want to have sex and I have that nasal strip, I bring it, set it next to the bed, but I don't put it on because if I put it on, then she's just like,
You never just
I
tell
don't want to signal this.
Hold on, you never just tell your wife like, hey, let's have sex.
No.
You don't say that?
No, that's like scheduling it. That's why I'm asking you. I ask you that.
No, I don't. I'm not saying, hey, on Wednesday let's have sex. Although some people do that, it's fine too. But you don't tell your wife like, hey, let's go in the room and.
No, I just do it.
Yeah, so why does it ruin it for you?
And come back in the room.
Yeah. Talking about it ruins it for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Talking about it can
I
be
got to
great.
display it.
Well, there's a difference between talking about it, flirting throughout the day. That's different. Well, yeah, that happens all the time.
So then you know.
Well, yeah, those nights are very
Are
obvious.
you getting caught off guard and like you're brushing your? Oh shit! Watch out!
No.
Oh, here we go.
I just feel like the amount of setting up on your face would
You just put it on. You just put it on, strap on the thing, and you're ready to go.
Is it already plugged in right next to the bed?
Yeah, it's just right next to the bed. You don't have to turn it on. You put the mask on, it senses like the breathing, and then it turns on.
Oh,
and it's silent.
You can play Vader. You can play Bane.
You can do all those things, dude.
Now,
I can sleep on my side.
I was
and
going to ask
everything,
you,
too.
do you have to sleep on the side,
I can
back?
sleep on my side. I can sleep on my back. First of all, I
sleep on my back already.
Bro, I could never sleep on my back before. Now I can. I lay back and and I don't even wake up at all. I don't wake up to go pee at all either. I go to sleep through the whole night.
That's the only thing that would make me want to try one is to see if it has something to do with me, like waking myself up and I go pee or something like that. But I don't know.
The few times we've shared a hotel room, you got some breathing stuff going on too.
Yeah, when we travel, I don't. But
I'm wondering if it has to do with the travel.
It is, yeah, because I'll ask Katrina. I'm just like, you hear me, or she'll say no. But when we travel, I don't ever get really good. It's rare that we stay somewhere and I'm like, oh, a great night's sleep.
Dude, they make travel CPAP. I refuse to do that. Though. I ain't going to travel with that. Bring in a hotel room, plug it all in, so I can hear you guys talk shit about me for the whole time.
Oh yeah, we're making videos for sure. Yeah. We're making videos.
Someone's going to take a picture. No way, dude.
For sure, we taking videos, dude.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. We have a free guide titled "Understanding Your Mood, Stress, and Sleep." It tackles all of those things from a health and longevity perspective. It's a totally free guide. So just click on the link at the top of the description below. Speaking of which, so I
rolled back.
So I'm feeling hyped. I'm feeling like great in the morning. So I came in this morning and but I got to say this though first. The team that we have here now at MINDPUMP is
so awesome.
This is the best team we've ever had. For sure.
Yeah.
It's got old gym vibes of some of the teams that I've worked with in the past where you just get that like
like we're gonna win some championships.
Bro, it's like the movie 300, you know, with like the Sparta, you get that like we're gonna go and do this type of vibe. So I come in this morning and I'm feeling good. I come in, first of all, Kyle's in here, just finished working out, and he's listening to some really angry metal, Justin.
I've influenced him.
So
I don't know if you guys know that.
As soon as I walk in, I hear that, and I was already amped, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna get ugly. So I come in, and then I, go in the back, get ready, come out. He's done, and I go and I start working out, and I did pull-ups, and I hit a lifetime PR in pull. I did 27 pull-ups today.
Straight? No,
Straight.
you didn't.
Yes, I did.
I don't believe
Just
it.
I swear on
randomly,
everything.
you're like, I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah, well, no, because I'm
legit full pull-ups.
Yeah,
that's a lot, bro.
Yeah,
I know. I've never hit 27. I don't think.
Yeah. So, pulling's I'm really strong pulling. So that's my thing. Don't get me pressing. Don't get me doing other stuff. But pulling I could do really well. So I hit 27, which was a lifetime PR. Plus, I'm light right now because I've been cutting my calories and stuff.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I'm lighter than I normally was. So there's that's going for me. But and I'm also experimenting with some training, which this is for a future MAPS program. I won't say too much about it. But anyway, I hit a PR. I'm feeling good. So I'm like, I'm going to send this to our team because we have some people on the team that love to compete. Or I can tell they like to compete.
Very competitive.
They all do.
So the shit's
Yeah.
talking started in there, and it's awesome.
Maybe that's why we all feel. Maybe that's why we feel that way. Is that this is probably the most athletically competitive staff we've ever had. Like they all work. They all compete.
Yeah,
yeah.
They all work out.
Yeah.
They all train hard.
Yeah, they're all either in jiu-jitsu, play sports. Like, so we do have that.
Of course, now, of course, who do you think immediately went to try to break
Cole.
the record? Yeah, dude,
For sure, Cole.
right away. Cole comes in.
He's probably the most competitive.
And he's like, "Oh, let me, no warm up. Let me, right away." Starts, he repped out 22.
He's strong.
He's a strong kid.
So he's
got them farmer.
Remember, I told you guys
too.
the other day about the white elephant gift that we did, and
he stole yours.
So Cole stole my Caldera, right? So it was the whole lineup of Caldera. I actually was like, oh my god, I want that, right? So I got it, and then Josh's turn was next. And Josh was like eyeballing it the whole time. And he went up like the gesture I was doing to it. And I said, don't let you forget who takes care of everybody's raises and bonuses, right? And so he you saw him just sit there and go back and forth like, fuck, I ain't gonna take the boss's shit. So he took something else, right? He left me alone. And then as soon as it was Cole's turn, Cole came over and swiped the Caldera.
Josh.
I was like, and mine. Cole's like the new guy. Yeah. Josh is like, I've been around for a while. I'm gonna respect the old man. I'm not gonna take his shit. Cole, I don't give a fuck. Let me take
Josh,
it.
if you're editing this right now, you can fuck with Adam as much as you want. Okay.
Yeah.
We got 3 other guys here that'll override his vote
It's
for
a
your
council.
raise, dude.
Yeah.
It's all good. So so Cole came in, repped out. Is that why his face is looking all? I'm like, damn, he's young. So I thought it was because he's young.
Well, I saw he did a post. He did a post right afterwards about trying to use it.
He better be using it
because he's got like acne going on, and see if it's going to help with that.
Oh, it will. It totally will.
Will it help with acne?
Yes, acne is a lot of it is a result of just microbiome dysregulation of the face. Mm-hmm. So if you look at like conventional acne treatments, like over the counter, like salicylic acid, benzoyl peroxide, those are all
like antibiotics for your face, right?
Kind of, yeah. They all kill bacteria.
Yeah.
The Caldera's oil, like face serum, it balances out the microbiome on
more
the
like
skin.
a probiotic.
Correct. So it doesn't have bacteria in it,
right.
But it does promote. This is why dry skin, oily skin, some acne, like it tends to work for anybody's skin. Like Justin and I couldn't have different skin. Couldn't have any more different skin.
Yeah.
He uses it and it's great. I use it and it's great. So
gives me moisture.
yeah.
I just like to say that.
But the shit talking in the group after that was just because I said, who's gonna beat my record? This old man can't be the strongest guy in the gym. So it went back and forth.
It's kind of crazy that it's taken this long for us to feel that way. I mean, it's 10 years, right? Next
time
month.
Is right.
Yeah, 10 years to feel like I think that's an honest feeling for. I mean, I've loved everybody. I've had positive feelings about everybody that has worked for the most part, who's worked for us. But this is the first time that the cohesiveness and just all the positions, everybody just seems right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it always felt like before. I really like our team, but we need to get better in this area, or so-and-so's doesn't seem like the right fit. Like it's always felt like that. For the first time, I feel like everybody is the right fit.
It feels like everybody
we're all rowing in the same direction.
Yeah, and it feels like everybody has a sense of a higher purpose. And when you get that feeling in your team, and I think if you play sports, you've probably felt this at some point, right? Where you're playing with a team that we want to win, but it's like we want to win so bad that I don't care if it's you that does it, me that does it. We're all doing this together.
Play for each other.
Yeah, and so that's what it feels like.
Yeah, we were just having that discussion about my best friend is a diehard Detroit Lions fan. And I mean, he's been in for 30 something years.
That's great.
And he's stuck with him all these times. And it's so cool to watch. Like, the Lions are, number one team in NFL right now, which is, I mean, I don't think that hasn't ever been said. Yeah, and so he's like, we were just talking, he was with me for the Christmas party, and we were just talking about then what makes him. And I'm not a Lions fan, but like I'm rooting for him in this situation, because when you've been sticking it through a team for that long, and then when you see it's not like they're one of the NFL teams that went out and bought all the players.
Oh, I see. This is like a Warriors story.
Yes, exactly. That's why the Warriors were like this. The San Francisco Giants, when they won the World Series, were like this.
The world kind of
it's this. You don't necessarily always have to have the most expensive, best player on paper. It's like you find the right group of guys, girls that all want to play for each other. It's a very powerful thing in sports and in business. And that's kind of the vibe that I get is like everyone's playing for each other than themselves. And that's a dangerous combination when you get a group of people that are truly playing for each other.
Material.
Absolutely. I've had teams like that where you'll have maybe one superstar and then everybody else is not, but they work so well together that you're unstoppable and you feel like you're unstoppable. It's a great feeling to be on a team and I feel like that. I feel like that with the team that we currently have, especially moving into this next year where we're really gonna, the goal's always been to influence the fitness industry and help move it in a positive direction. But now working more closely with coaches and trainers, which is, I mean, look, everybody, we trained clients for years, but the thing that we were known for was training trainers. That's what we really were known for.
It's our wheelhouse, yeah.
And this is like a whole new, this is going to be great. It's going to be a really, really good time.
It's exciting.
Speaking of fitness, did you guys see that fitness videos on YouTube are going to be regulated in Australia for kids?
Wow.
Really?
Yeah,
Fitness
they're
for kids.
well, for like under 16. So let me pull up.
Why?
I'll pull up what's happening. You know,
What type of
I
videos?
don't necessarily disagree with this. So it says YouTube will begin limiting Europe, not Australia, Europe. YouTube will begin limiting access to fitness videos for European teens. And essentially it's to prevent or help mitigate these body image issues, because you guys know our space, okay?
Yeah.
So fitness could be great. It could be great information that's coming to your 15-year-old.
I don't know if I'm a fan of that.
How to get fit and strong and healthy. It could also be like how to look this way, body obsession, get shredded as fast as possible, which, I have teenage kids. I wouldn't want them to,
I mean, I don't think YouTube is the greatest offender of that. I think Instagram, where people
They need to
post
their sexual stuff first.
post photoshopped photos and perfect pictures of themselves all on their profile is far more dangerous for your teenage girl or boy than a YouTube video where someone actually has to communicate and talk and show something, even if it is a body obsessed type of person and they're talking, they're communicating. They're not photoshopping their body. I think that's way more dangerous to young teenage kids.
I think you're going to start to see this trend grow.
Well, I told you about Instagram, what they did, right? They put in those things. I don't know if either one of you have even checked that out yet. I'm curious.
No,
I'm curious.
No, that where you go and you have like a filter.
A teen account.
Yeah.
So now Instagram has like Instagram teen account or whatever. So I don't know all the logistics.
Well, I think this is like, because I could easily break this up, shatter this, be like, oh, cool. So fitness videos are going to be limited, but what about these other stupid videos that kids watch or whatever? But that's not the point. I think that they're trying to move in this direction because the data is showing just how negative social media and new media can be for people under a certain age. And they targeted fitness because they found that it promotes, there was a study they did in 2021, and here the quote says, it promoted unhealthy behaviors and that viewers reinforce those practices in the comments. Now, you guys know our space. You know that there's a lot of shit in our space. So for anybody who works in fitness, who's like up in arms, we did it to ourselves, everybody. And so if you're doing things the right way, keep doing them the right way and continue to, and do a better job than the people that are doing it the wrong way. And then stuff like this won't happen.
I guess I'd love to see some examples of what triggered this, right? It would be interesting to see because they've obviously collected a bunch of data on these things and said like, oh, these types of things are doing these, like, what do those look like?
So they gave a list. They said they're going to limit repeated recommendations of videos that idealize particular fitness levels or weight groups, compare and idealize certain physical features, or are socially aggressive, meaning they show intimidation or fighting. It's such a broad category. Like, what does that
So like
mean?
sports performance, like how are they gonna deal with that? Because obviously they're trying to target like the aesthetic, like body obsessed sort of messaging.
We're gonna have to wait and see. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see.
Was it just proposed or is it passed?
No, it's happening in Europe.
Oh, so it's actually happening.
Yeah, no.
Now, according to this, it was already rolled out here last year.
It was.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
So this is under teens. So
this is for 16 and younger.
and younger, 16 and younger
is what it says.
Okay.
So interesting. I mean, if you're a fit,
It's why our YouTube channel doesn't grow.
with
Probably.
with kids. Well, hey, look, if you're a fitness influencer,
Got to move over to
like,
TikTok.
yeah, I mean, they're not really consumers anyway. So, you should probably be targeting older people anyway, is the way I look at it. I mean, what are 14 or 15-year-olds going to buy? I mean, I guess you're
I mean,
supplements.
maybe not now, but if you stay in business for 10 years like we have, then those are buyers.
Well, they'll grow up,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they won't be limited anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
I could see why they're moving in that direction. I really can. I don't know if I don't think it's enough. I don't know if it's necessarily going to
Yeah,
fix
I don't know
anything.
if I like it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That's not sure. I mean, I don't know. When I think of I think of, obviously my son's only 5, right? And I think about the things that, okay, when he gets to that age where he's going to be interested in these platforms, is YouTube fitness channels what the first thing I'm thinking about? It's definitely not what I was thinking about. I mean, I wasn't thinking that's going to be.
That's where I could tear it apart. I don't think the fitness videos are the worst, even close.
No, that's
Yeah,
exactly. That's
exactly.
what I mean. It's like, I mean,
I'd
if
love to
we're
see
going to
what else they're
regulate something like that,
regulating.
I'm not sure that's the direction that I would
Totally.
go. I would go first. I think there's a lot of things. And again, don't you guys think that like the Instagram profiles are far more detrimental than like a YouTube channel where there's communication and talking going on? I think what could be the worst is if my son or daughter had 100 fitness people they follow, and those 100 people are all shredded, and every photo on their profile is how amazing they look. Like that, to me, I think would condition his brain to believe that's reality, and that's more dangerous.
Are they limiting like beauty stuff for kids? Probably not.
Exactly.
That's bad too. I mean, you've seen some of these beauty videos that teenage girls are watching about your makeup and how you look this
The
and
pageants and all that.
Oh yeah,
Ugh,
dude.
God.
You know what's crazy about YouTube is the comments. I think they're starting to get a hold of this, but in the comments, you would get these weird cross communications and recommendations to things that were just sketchy as hell on YouTube. We talked about.
Well, I
this
mean,
a
that's
while
why we
ago.
can't let Max. I mean, we don't let him use YouTube for that reason, because of just, it doesn't even matter if you're watching a kid video or not. But he likes one, goes in, and then by the time
Next thing you know.
by video 9, all of a sudden we're watching really adult shit that he shouldn't be watching.
Yeah, Spider-Man's doing inappropriate things.
Yeah.
They had. I
I
saw
swear
that.
to God, that was a thing.
I
Yeah,
know.
it was
I know.
awful.
Oh, crazy.
It is crazy.
Anyway, earlier, Justin, you talked about steroids. You said 30-minute steroid joke. But, dude, a body
3-minute steroids. my
So
next
a
program.
bodybuilder, a classic bodybuilder. You guys know the categories, right? There's like the open, like the big monsters. Then there's a classic, where they're a little smaller built. They're supposed to look like a
They look like 80s bodybuilders.
Yeah. So a classic bodybuilder, Breon Ansley, actually gave his steroid protocol for 2024. Bro, these guys are using so much stuff.
That's crazy.
You want to hear what he's using?
Oh yeah.
Let's hear it.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay, so every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, he uses 300 milligrams of testosterone cypionate. So that's already 900 milligrams. 300 milligrams of
3 times a
Masteron.
week?
300 milligrams of Primobolan. Then on Monday and Friday, we're not done. He adds Trenbolone at 200 milligrams and then Arimidex. Then he's using HGH 4 IUs a day, Monday through Friday. Then 2 weeks before the show, Halotestin 20 milligrams pre-workout, and then peak week 40 milligrams. Bro, they're using grams of stuff to look like a classic bodybuilder. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
They're trying to look like bodybuilders of the 80s, but bodybuilders of the 80s didn't use that much stuff.
all that.
biggest
It's crazy.
The biggest mistake or misunderstanding that I think a lot of these competitors had. I remember this when I was in it, was that which is funny because it's the same mistake I made as a kid, thinking that was the difference of like me and the magazine covers was, it must be the steroids, must be the stack or whatever. And so a lot of these competitors, that's what they go, oh man, I didn't place the top 5 guys. They must be taking this, or they catch wind that the guy that took second or first was using this or that. I'm like, I'm not using that. I need to throw that, and it just keeps stacking all this. It's like so far from the truth, especially classic and men's physique, like those categories. Like,
just for reference, for anybody listening, I just said a bunch of numbers. Nobody understands. Like, what does that mean? Testosterone replacement therapy is between 100, probably 150 at the high end, 200 milligrams total a week. What I just quoted was grams a week of anabolics. Yeah. So it's many, 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 many times above and beyond. Right. And that's what he says he uses, which, bodybuilders are notoriously
downplay it a little bit.
Yeah, it's like
'cause,
asking someone how many
he's
people
like
they slept with.
This is when I mentioned the D-ball he's sprinkling on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Don't
You know,
talk
it's
about that.
it's freaking
Occasionally.
crazy.
I know, it's wild. Anyway, I just read a study on life expectancy in the U.S. They predict it to completely stall out by 2050. Yeah, so even with medical advancements and all that stuff,
I hear so many conflicting articles in regards to our life expectancy. Up, down, going backwards. Oh, we're going to be living to. So this one says that we're going to stall out.
that it's not going to keep going. Yeah, I guess our trajectory is we're not going to have an increased life, which is crazy because of all these medical advancements continue to happen.
Yeah.
So because I would.
Is this because of the average of like
Yes.
there's just going to be an influx of people, like unhealthy people
Thank you.
dropping off?
Yeah, because what this doesn't say, yes, people are living longer or the same amount. So let's say the life expectancy is the same, but are people living worse?
Yeah.
Are they kept alive by more and more medical interventions? Do they have? Are they more likely to have diabetes? Are they more likely to get cancers? Like people survive certain cancers at a much higher rate now than they did before. So they might have died before, but why are they getting them in the first place? And are they getting them at higher rates? Are they getting, they're surviving from heart disease better because of certain medical interventions, but we're still getting them at higher rates. So that's the thing that nobody's talking about is
here,
that.
what do the numbers say here, Doug?
So in 2019, it was 79 years. In 2020, it went down 2 years to 77. 2021, it was 76.1.
Holy shit.
It's
And
going
last
back
year
up.
went up to 76.4.
Yeah.
Not 2022, actually.
Yeah. It went down. It wasn't because of COVID.
76,
It was because of
76
poor
is
lifestyle.
life expectancy?
Yeah.
Wow, that's in a couple years, Doug.
Yeah.
Got to beat the odds.
We got to throw a big one for you when that hits. You know what I'm saying?
You know what though? I forgot what the number
76
was.
party.
It was something like if you make it to 65, you're way more likely to make it to 80 something, because that takes everybody into account. But I forgot what it was. Like if you make it past a certain age, the odds that you'll make it beyond 75 are much higher. And I can't remember what that number was.
Oh, I didn't know. So what do you
Yeah.
mean this is averaging that someone that died at 20 or 30?
Everybody.
So it's from birth. So there's a lot of people who die at birth and things like that. That affects it.
People that die in their 50s, people that die in their
Oh, so that's not a really good number then. Like
that's average.
That's average.
yeah, and you're taking in people that died at 20.
In other words, if you make it to 70, the odds are you're going to make it beyond the average of 77 or whatever it is.
Oh,
now.
see, I'd like to see what that number is. Like, if
I
you-
can't remember what it was. I remember reading about that.
but it can't be that much more. It's got to be like in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean that's not bad. Another 10 years.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah.
The difference between a 75-year-old and 85-year-old is big.
Yeah.
What's really crazy about that is like the way we've structured our society too, where it's just like you work all the way till you're 65 and then you retire. It's like you work your ass off for this retirement and all this stuff like that. Then you really only have 10 years of that.
Still got Viagra though, so it's good.
This is true.
Did you know?
This is very true.
Who was it? Was it you that brought this up? This is a real statistic that when Viagra first hit the market, there was one age group that STDs like started to spike through the roof.
Yeah.
It was the older age group.
Yeah, that was
care
very
homes.
revealing.
It was care homes.
Shut up.
Yeah, dude.
I would. What do you think? What do you think the percentage of like sex that's going down at care
lot.
home?
A lot.
No, it's not.
Yes,
a
it
lot.
is.
No, it's
Yes,
not.
it is.
Stop. Look this up, Doug.
Hey, listen. I trade. Why are you asking Doug?
If you're a dude in a retirement home, you're a stud bull.
Do you frequently visits there?
It's easy. Easy pickings, bro.
It's like shooting fish in a
Otherwise,
barrel.
yeah.
Doug's like, it's lay down, right? It's a lay down.
Because I can't stand up.
As he's walking through, women are pulling their dentures out, whistling.
Hey, Dougie. Hey, Dougie.
Hey, go to Instagram at MindPump Media. It's the 12 days of Christmas. We're giving away incredible giveaways, huge prizes. Go to Instagram right now. I used to train. I had a lot of clients that were in advanced age because I trained a lot of doctors at one point. They would refer patients, a lot of them at advanced age. So I've trained a decent amount of people who lived in care homes, and they were almost all women except for one man. And, you get to know these people really well, and they love me, and we talk about everything. And yeah, dude, if you're the guy in the care home, you're like one of 2 or 3 men, and it's all women, and you're the stud.
Yeah, there's a lot of like funny sitcoms and movies about
got needs.
that scenario, right? Of the guy who comes in.
Oh, I trained one woman, and I'm not gonna say the guy's name or anything. She might listen or whatever, but she said that I'm not gonna say the guy's name. We'll just say his name is Vince. She would talk about this guy named Vince, And she'd say, "Oh, she's like, oh, you know, Vince, he's the stud of the." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "All the women are, you know, I get to hang out with him on Mondays, but then on Wednesdays he hangs." I'm like, "Are you serious?" She goes, "Yeah."
Yes, many senior citizens
On
are sexually
calendar.
active. National poll of healthy aging: 40% of U.S. adults ages 65 to 80 are actually sexually active, and 73% are satisfied with their sex lives.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
incredible.
That's great.
Yeah.
26%
Party
of
on.
75 to 85-year-olds were still having sex.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Wow, that's incredible.
Thus the STDs.
Yeah. Yeah. And what they said in the study was the studies, because the STDs went up, was that because of their age group, they grew up during a time when you didn't use condoms unless you were trying not to get pregnant. And since they couldn't get pregnant, 87-year-old, whatever dude, he's not using a condom when he's having sex with Gertrude. They're going
He's going raw.
and they're just going for it. It's just getting passed around the whole place.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's wild.
Did you guys, after our interview yesterday, did you guys go home and talk to your wives about the interview at all?
I did actually. Yeah.
Yeah, how'd that go? How'd that land?
She was very interested. Yeah. Very
It went good.
interested in it.
My wife's very into the data and stuff. So what she was talking about on the show, I've heard my wife talk about so many different times. So I went home like, honey, you've been saying some of this stuff for forever. And we just did an interview, I just heard it, from an expert and stuff. So we talked about it for a little while.
Yeah.
But she's been talking about this for the last 8 years. She's been talking about some of this
there
stuff.
was some things she brought up in there that were like, it sounded like, ooh, wow, that's, a powerful statement or, somewhat controversial. But the more I thought about it, I was like, wow, this is really controversial. Yeah, some things she brought up.
Oh, it'll be interesting. Katrina,
Yeah, I'm curious to see the response.
That's how Katrina said. Katrina's like, well, I can't wait to hear the feedback you guys get when that goes live. She's like, it's going to be interesting how many. I mean, when she said that comment to me about, treating it like a crisis.
Yes.
So what you're referring to, the reference, what you said was, what she said, what was her name again? Erica Komisar. Sorry, she's phenomenal. Controversial, but she's citing actual data. And she was talking about just how detrimental it is for moms to go to work in the first 3 years of their child's life. It's very detrimental.
Yeah.
And the question you asked was, well, let's say you got two working parents, they got a mortgage, this and that. Like, what do they do? And she goes, well, if you have a crisis, what would you do? You would basically change your lifestyle
You gotta
to make it happen.
reprioritize.
Yeah,
It's that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I know.
And a lot of
She was
people,
coming in with the facts and it just,
a lot of people don't want to hear that.
that's the thing. It's hard to hear sometimes.
Well, and then she had said the heavy statement of like, and she's like, and she was clear. She's like, let me be clear. She's like, we're not talking about people that are poverty stricken, where it takes both incomes just to
Totally.
put food on the table and
Yes,
barely
yes,
get by, and you're like,
you don't have that option.
yeah, and you don't have an option like that. We're talking about, she's like, middle class people is typically what you see. And you go, and that's a choice. And that's a choice that you are making as an adult that you want.
Yes.
That child didn't ask for that. And it's like, ooh, God, that was like, that one hit home like so true. It's like a decision that we make as adults that we want for ourselves or as our family, when it's just like, that's not what the kid
The ones that
necessarily wants.
hit me, really hard, or when your kid throws a tantrum or whatever, it's so easy to look at it as acting out. And to be like, oh, you want to throw a tantrum? You go over there, and when you're ready to come talk, a lot of parents do that. And she's like, well, that's because the parent can't regulate themselves around it. And I'm like, oh, that's true. Because I feel myself get, and so I'm like, no, you go over there and scream.
Yeah.
And she's like, think of it like a seizure. That was what she said.
Yeah.
If someone's having a seizure, do you just leave them alone, or do you go and like support them?
Right.
And I got emotional when she started talking. I'm like, I'm not going to cry on this podcast. I'm holding this in right now because I've done that before.
I thought the postpartum talk was crazy too.
yeah.
I thought that was really interesting too, to think about it like that. That like all that type of stuff is it's revealing post trauma that you've had, that you haven't dealt with.
if you have
Postpartum
childhood
depression.
trauma that's undealt with, and then you have a child,
That's
it
what
will
I thought
come
was
out.
controversial. I thought
Yeah.
I don't know how that's gonna be received.
Yeah, there's a couple things that were like that were said that'll be
Well, the world is organized. It's not a surprise. If I say the following statement, everybody listening to this will agree. The world is organized in a way to where you are going to be, if you follow along, you will be fat, unhealthy, and sick. Everybody knows that because this is a fitness podcast.
Yeah.
You know that. Okay. Do you think the world is organized in a way to make your child emotionally and mentally healthy? Do you think the world is organized in a way that's good for us in any way? It is not.
No.
So if you do what you're supposed to, you're doing probably not ideal, not good.
Right.
So this is true for everyone.
It's just highlighting how much we've kind of drifted off in terms of, what messaging is out there.
Well, I'll give you an example. She said she was going to go speak to Congress to try to talk to them about coming up with a way to give mothers long paid leave, right?
Yeah.
So like they don't have to go back to work for 2 or 3 years.
It's just us in like Papua New Guinea or whatever that doesn't provide that,
Okay,
right?
so watch this. If you try to convince Congress to do that, you know what they're going to do? They're going to flip it and say,
daycare money or
we're going to
something.
pay for people's daycare for 3 years.
Yes.
Because keep them working.
Yes.
Rather than don't go to work, stay at home, be with your kid. No, we're going to help moms. The way we're going to help them is going to pay for daycare. See how opposite that is? So, and that's a much easier to sell because we're so convinced that that's the way to go.
Yeah.
I know. It's really crazy stuff. Anyway,
Very fascinating
have you
stuff.
guys tried? We talked about this on a previous podcast. Have you guys tried using the Joovv red light as a pre-workout?
No, I haven't done. I've been wanting to do that because you brought that up.
Okay.
No, I'm going to challenge myself.
I
to
have
do that.
yet to do it. I'm gonna.
I was talking about wanting to do the plunge and that together, then go.
I'm
and
going
see
to
how you
try doing it this week because if it activates your mitochondria, it makes perfect sense to do it. It does activate your mitochondria. That's how it works. To do it and then go lift. That's got to be one of the
feel. It
best.
seems like it would be a difficult one to measure, though. Like I clearly feel a difference the first time I cold plunged before I went and worked out. Like it was like noticeable. Like, whoa, this is crazy. I feel like the red light before will be more difficult to feel.
It shouldn't be. I don't think
Really?
it's going to. No, I don't think it'll feel stimulatory. I think you'll feel like you could get more reps and get a better pump.
Yeah.
That's what I predict.
Maybe more usable energy.
Yeah, like
workout.
Because I'm going to target like the muscle I'm going to train. So I'm going to do like if I'm going to hit back, I'll do it on my back. If I'm hit legs, I'll do it on my legs. Then I'll go work out and then see if I notice a difference.
Especially, I wonder like the high rep type of workout.
Yeah.
I bet you really
More
notice a
stamina.
difference. Yeah,
Maybe
We'll
that
see.
might be it. Yeah,
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna do the high rep workout.
Yeah, and we have one here, right? That's up and up.
Yeah,
and
it's
operational.
here. It's in this room right here behind us.
I'll tell the kids out there to give it a shot too because they all work out here.
Yeah, that would be a good idea, is to try and get a group of us to do it so that you get more than just one opinion on what it feels like. I just feel like this one will be a little more difficult to feel as like in comparison.
We have to test it, but if it does for sure fuel the mitochondria, so you should notice a difference. You should notice a difference in your workout by doing.
I mean,
pre-workout.
no matter what, I mean, the research is clear enough to show that it's positive.
It's beneficial.
Yeah, it's beneficial.
Regardless.
The question,
Yeah.
it's always hard to get people to do things though that they can't feel. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's a lot of things that are beneficial to us that many times you probably don't do it, and a lot of the reason why you don't do it is because it's not this like obvious like. Notice a huge difference. Kind of how we started this conversation. Like one of the reasons why the sleep thing is so huge is because you tell someone to get that 30 minutes more sleep, and within day 3,
they notice.
And it's like, okay, now I'm a believer. I'm bought in. It's like trying to get people to do things that it's harder to feel or measure.
Yeah. No, also, they just confirmed what the Hubble telescope had shown with the new imaging telescopes that we have, where this was a big conundrum or a big mystery for scientists, where the universe seems to be expanding faster and faster. So, the whole Big Bang theory, right? Like everything started in this one tiny point, all matter, all time, all space was in one point, and then it exploded. And it should slow down its expansion as it cools and then contract again, right? Mm-hmm. But what they did with the Hubble telescope is I think they were measuring the distance between stars. I don't remember how they were doing it, but they're like, this is weird. The universe expansion isn't slowing down, it's speeding up. Like this makes no sense whatsoever. Well, they've confirmed it with further testing. The expansion of the universe is speeding up, which
now, does that point to
flies
being younger or older or like some other factor?
they can't figure it out. It doesn't make any sense with their models. So they're what are they injecting into that dark matter, dark energy to try to make up the difference for what the hell's going on?
Oh, right.
Because it makes no sense that it would continue. It would accelerate its expansion. Yeah. I love this kind of stuff because it just goes to show how little we know about everything.
Right when we think we are onto a good formula, it just gets like pulled out from under.
Yeah, it's wild, right?
Where are you reading this at right now?
I just pulled it up on ScienceDaily.com, which by the way, great site if you want
Yeah, you've shouted out a few times.
Yeah, I love them. But yeah, it's they did this from the James Webb Space Telescope. So it's a mystery.
That's the most powerful telescope that we have.
Is that the new most powerful one?
I think so.
I think
it is.
is.
This is the one that did all those high res images of galaxies and Milky Way and everything. Like I remember, like they did a comparison of the previous telescope they threw out there.
Oh, they show the two images.
Oh my God! Is it
I haven't
high
seen
res?
that.
It looks so sick.
Yeah,
I
maybe
haven't
it's
seen
worth checking out.
if Doug puts in a Hubble telescope versus Webb telescope, you'll probably click on
vibrant
images.
colors and
Yeah, the
just-
web is the newest.
Yeah,
okay.
Doug, if you
So
go
show me a comparison.
if you go Hubble versus Webb and then click on images,
Okay.
it should come up and you'll see the two next to each other, and it's like, bro, it's like your old flip phone camera versus
Yeah.
like the iPhone camera.
And what's the difference in years of creation?
Quite a few. Quite a
Yeah,
few.
Quite a few.
I mean, like probably 20, 30.
decades.
Yeah, probably 20
Okay,
or 30.
okay, so it's been a while.
Yeah, because we throw them out in space, right? So
Yeah.
they could get better picture. That's not it right there.
Oh, that was a good
that's
picture, but no, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the left to right on them.
Top, bottom.
Yeah. So
Wow. Okay, left to right. Okay, I see. Wow.
isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is crazy.
You know what's crazy too about
Get
this?
a lot more detail now.
I love this stuff because again, I love the mystery of the world and life. When the further out they look, they're just looking back in time.
I know.
What?
That's like really time travel.
Further out they look, they're looking back in time.
Yeah, because light takes time to get to the lens.
Yeah, as
Right.
it shoots out.
So when you're looking at something, you're looking
tracing back.
millions of years into the past. You're not looking at what it looks like right now that far. You're looking at what it used to look like because that's how long it takes the light to get there.
Millions of years?
Okay, how about this? I'm gonna trip you out right now. Okay.
Sounds like you're carbon dating. Keep going.
No.
there's logic to this one though.
Yeah, well, okay, but let me wrap my brain about what you're trying to communicate to me right now. I'm looking through the Webb
curious how you
telescope.
can describe this, 'cause
I'm
it's
looking
hard
at
to
the Webb
describe.
telescope right now, and then what I'm actually seeing is in the past.
Yes.
Millions of years ago.
Well, let me give it to you. Let me tell you this way.
Or like
when you look
couple
at this,
days ago.
no, put on some
Well, how long does it
sunglasses.
take? Yeah, light
Put on some
speed to
glasses that allow you to look at the sun.
Yes.
What you see is 7 minutes ago.
get- yeah.
You're not looking at the sun right now. You're looking at 7
Yeah.
minutes
Okay.
ago.
This is where I'm. Yes.
So go out far enough.
I understand how
now shoot
the
it way
time
out.
that light takes to travel.
Yeah.
So I understand that you're looking at something. By the time it gets to you, that was in the past, right?
Yeah,
I get that. But you made a jump from 7 days to millions of years. Like it can't be that far, is
when
it?
you go to the observable edge of the universe and you use the speed of light as your as your calculation, then technically, yeah. If light is traveling unimpeded from that far of a
we
distance,
can see something that far.
light years. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at things light years away. So 1 light year is how far in distance, Doug? Maybe look that up. Yeah, bro. If you travel the speed of light, you know how long it'll take.
Which
you to get
also
out of our
means
galaxy?
that if something happened that we were going to run into or was going to hit us, you would know years in advance.
potentially.
Yeah, if it's that far.
Well, no. Well,
Like if we're looking out at this thing and you're telling me
wonder
millions,
how
let's just say
predictive-
you're exaggerating by millions and it's more like 1,000 years ago, 1,000 years
stop
ago.
pressing me on this stuff because this is just, I've read this.
Hey,
somewhere.
this is the shit that I got to question you on. This is like the carbon dating bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's just
No,
like,
carbon
oh, yeah.
dating's different. Don't
need
put it in the same
somebody-
category.
What do you mean
A
don't put it in the same
scientist in
category?
here.
It's in this very similar category.
No,
It's fucking
no,
science.
no.
Fucking religion. Okay, it's they're all in another category
You're
here.
such a-
This is all mathematical though.
So a light year in miles is about 6 trillion miles.
in 1 light year.
holy
Yeah.
moly.
So I have.
So we can't see more than 6 trillion miles out, can we?
Yeah.
We can see beyond 6 trillion miles.
Yeah.
It's the
Really?
power
Yeah.
of these telescopes. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
I know.
I mean, so the sun is 8.3 light minutes from the sun.
Oh, I said 7 minutes. I was off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry.
Oh, I'm not. I didn't challenge your
all
son.
discredited.
I'm not challenging your son. I'm challenging when we start getting. When
Forget
people,
it.
When people start using numbers like
Dinosaurs.
millions,
Didn't even
millions
exist.
of years. Like, oh, come on, stop it. Stop it.
No. What does that say right there? What does that little pictograph say there?
yeah. So, or 2.5 million light years from Andromeda,
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go.
the nearest large galaxy.
So we see, we're looking at Andromeda. That was a long time ago because of how long it takes the light to travel to us.
Yeah, and then relay it back to Earth because didn't they shoot it way out in space?
What?
The telescope.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how far out. I think it's,
I think it's out there.
yeah, I think it's going, isn't it a satellite around Earth? I don't know.
Oh, satellite? No, I think they shot it out.
Let's get back to our wheelhouse, guys.
Relayed it back.
I mean, it's
I don't know anything.
I'm super fascinated in it for sure too. Sometimes we speak in like certainties around stuff that we
the expansion of the universe,
we know so less than we act like we know.
Well, I mean, that's what I like. That's what I think is fascinating. The wonder, right? Of like how little do we know of all this stuff.
I wish more science dorks would communicate it that way, though. It's that this is what we.
Why do you talk like a bully? Like you talk normal. You have to call.
Because you know why? Because they try and bully other guys. They try and bully dumb guys like me. You know what I'm saying? So this is me bullying right back.
It's different bullying though. It's like online bullying, not real bullying. Real bullying means you gotta be bigger than me, dude.
No, I mean it's just like we say stuff and it's like we print it in books and we make it like so factual and it's like we're still trying to figure this out. Let's be honest.
All right, you want some cool science? How about this? Doug, look up
fake science.
Look up anglerfish mating.
What?
Yeah, anglerfish mating. I'm surprised Justin doesn't know this. Do you know this, Justin?
I mean,
this is like
I know they have a luminescent little like extension off of their head, right?
Dude.
So that they light it up and wiggle it around.
No. Tiny males fuse to a female sometimes.
Fuse?
Yeah. They'll mate and then become the same.
Molded together?
Yeah, they literally, the male will like blend in and meld to the female.
Wow.
It's called sexual parasitism.
What?
That's like next level, dude. That's like, I mean, they read all the books.
Isn't that weird?
Is that what the fish looks like?
Yeah.
It's wild looking.
Ugly looking fish. Look at that thing.
Wow.
Yeah, we haven't even figured out everything that's in the ocean, dude. It's right here next to us. It's fucking not even a light year away, and we barely know what's going on. But yeah, we're gonna talk factual about stuff 8 million fucking years away. That's for sure what's going on over there. Wait a second. You mean in this water, this pool of water right in front of you? You don't even know what's going on there. You're gonna tell me something 8 million years away?
It is interesting. You don't focus on the deep
it's
ocean,
right here in front of you. You could go touch it. You could touch the water.
You
don't even know what's at the bottom of it.
A few times,
but then we're gonna talk about how we know something so far away. It's so crazy, dude.
Look at that. See, like it sucks to be a male anglerfish. They attach to the female and they lose most organs, becoming sperm banks. That's just terrible.
Just absorbs. So the female absorbs the male for the most part.
Yeah,
and
dude.
He's just kind of a useless head. They're like,
yeah, just producing.
That's brutal. I mean, it's not as brutal as the praying mantis.
What do they? Oh, they eat.
They eat their head after they're done.
I just say that after she mates, she eats them, right?
I saw a video of a praying mantis kill a lizard. A lizard.
They're badass.
Yeah, they are pretty.
Yeah, they're pretty.
If
badass.
they were bigger, we'd all be doomed.
Yeah, they're
That's
awesome.
a science fiction movie waiting to happen right there.
I guarantee
they did that in like the 60s.
Oh, they
really
did.
cheesy.
Yeah, okay.
Really bad.
I told you I had my cousin when he was little. His dad bought him praying mantis, like I don't know if it was eggs or whatever.
Yeah.
And he dropped it in the house, and they were finding praying mantis all over the place.
Oh wow.
Yeah, all over the
Sure,
place.
they're like killing everything though, like spiders.
You want those in your garden, right?
Yeah.
Because they take out all the bad bugs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
stuff.
badass.
So we were going to shout out that gym in Santa Cruz.
Oh, Chris again?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's keep doing it because you were talking about how they're
Chris, what's the name of the
Santa Cruz Athletic Club.
Santa Cruz Athletic Club? Yeah. So Chris is I know they're doing pre-sale now. And it's got hey, by the way, I think it's a hell of a deal to get in early.
It's crazy. Yeah.
So if you're in the area of
are they all
Santa
set up, Justin? Is the gym set up and ready to go?
No.
No.
They're still piecing it together, but they're starting to take memberships, I think.
Yeah, they are. He's doing pre-sale right now. I was texting back and forth with him this morning. And
do you know what he's going to have in the gym? What it's supposed to look like?
Oh yeah. I've seen the little
Crazy.
like 3D rendition or whatever.
Yeah, dude. So
it's gonna be sick.
huge. And
Santa Cruz has a great fitness community
in there. I mean, on the left side is all recovery. I mean, anything from hot cold contrast to massage therapy to like you name it. It's all recovery based. All of these offices on the left and like basically a spa, and then to the right is like a huge, expansive kind of like field for like a lot of movement and athletic training, and then a lot of like
gym.
the regular gym, just all in the back.
My goal is to get him enough memberships that he feels compelled to hook us up for free whenever we want to go there. That's my goal.
I really want to be like a consistent member there, dude. It's gonna be sick.
Yeah, you definitely will go there all the time.
They have a great fitness community.
Now, how close is it to the new house? Are you
Closer to the new house.
Oh, it's closer to the new house.
Yeah,
even.
for me.
Where are you working out
It's like
right
right in the middle.
Where do you work out? Just here at home, right?
Home, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it the whole time.
I actually haven't even been like in a gym for years. It's crazy.
Oh, wow.
I know.
I'm trying to think the last time it's been a long time since
I
I've been
just
in a
realized
gym.
that,
Oh,
yeah.
I take that back. I went to Fitness 19 I go by every once in a while.
Is that the one you said where you get the teenage boys wearing
all the
Crocs?
all the,
working out?
yeah. All the high school. It's definitely where all the high school kids are at, dude, for sure. No, it's
But shrimp posture.
I don't ever go there and
deadlifts.
like really lift though. I go there, it's like when I'm like, you know what, I can go do some stuff. I'll go do machine. I normally do like 3 or 4 machine exercises, and I maybe use the elliptical or the treadmill and walk for a little bit. It's not like I can't train in that gym. It's not a training gym to me. No offense, Fitness 19, but it's like not made for that. It's not where I'm gonna train deadlift, squatting, stuff like
You're
that.
not the
here
demographic.
over that place for
Awesome.
sure.
Well, hopefully they get more members over here.
Yeah. Shout out to Chris.
Get it.
Hey, real quick, our friends at Rock Recovery Center are offering a free scholarship. It's 4 months, $60,000 scholarship for rehab if you're trying to help yourself or a loved one become sober, addicted to alcohol, drugs. This place is incredible. It can be very expensive, but again, they're giving away a free scholarship. All you got to do is go to rockrecoverycenter.com/mindpump, fill out their form, see if you can get a free 4-month stay with them. Get yourself or your friends or your family members sober. Go check them out. All right, back to the show.
First question is from Maria Clark. Any real benefits from waist trainers, and why do they exist?
Okay, you know what's crazy about this?
Yeah.
Can I tell you guys?
They're back, you guys.
I see these
Are they
at
really?
the gym. Yes, I still see
Who's
these.
pushing them now? Like it was the Kardashians, and then
All the bodybuilding.
This is
community was
it's
back.
the worst
still.
the worst thing that I've ever seen. Well, not ever, but one of the worst things I've ever seen in our space
Yeah,
is
it's
a
top. It's
waist
top 5 for sure.
trainer. So a waist trainer, for people who don't know, it's essentially a corset that goes around your midsection, and you wear it all day long,
To atrophy those muscles.
and it causes the muscles around your core and waist to shrink, thus potentially shrinking your waist. It causes the muscles to atrophy and to weaken. This is the opposite of fitness. It increases your risk of injury. The compression can also cause issues with your digestive tract.
Yep.
It's terrible. It's absolutely, and I still see
Blockages.
people wearing
This
it.
one's
It's
so
just like-
crazy for me. So I've told you guys this before, but if you go all the way back to when I was 20 years old, and this excited trainer who was, new to learning all this information, and I remember the first thing I ever learned about was your core, your transverse abdominis. And I had this spiel where I go around to people because that's all I really knew, right? At this point in my career, this is the first big piece of knowledge that I learned. Like I didn't know that before. I didn't even know what the transverse abdominis was prior to getting my certification, right? And so I'd go around and I'd tell people how important this is. Your core is the most important muscle in your body besides your heart. Without your heart, you're dead. So that's the only reason why that muscle is more important. Other than that, nothing is more important than the transverse abdominis. And then I'd go, it's built up of these 32 muscles that wrap around your spine and support your body, and go into what they do and why they're so important, how most people can't connect to them. Most people's are really weak. And so it's so crazy to me to think that was my spiel 20 something years ago. I used to go around telling everybody in the gym, and how much I've watched the evolution of it, that we now are in this time where people are intentionally destroying that muscle that I used to go around, and sell training on how important it was to know how to train it and why you want to have a strong core.
Yeah.
That we've gone so far now of trying to make our bodies look like this hourglass look that we're willing to just destroy or weaken or atrophy the most important muscle in your body besides your heart. That's crazy.
This is akin to somebody saying, I want to shrink my legs, so I'm going to put casts on my legs, and they are going to get smaller. And they will get smaller because you've lost muscle. You've weakened the muscle, and weakening the muscles around your core is such a terrible idea. You're setting yourself up for potential injury, and it's so opposite of fitness. And it doesn't make you more aesthetic. It just weakens and shrinks some of the muscles around your core. Doesn't make you tighter, that's for sure. It doesn't make anything more sculpted.
More frail.
Absolutely. If you want to get a smaller waist, you can just get leaner. You develop some of the muscles of the upper body to create more of that illusion. But a small waist looks good on a fit person because it signifies leanness, okay? But trying to shrink muscles on purpose is such a bad idea, especially these very important muscles. So when I see these in gyms, it makes me, it's so hard for me not to say something to somebody. It's like,
too.
what are you doing to yourself?
Yeah, well, I mean, there are like vacuum technique is one thing to kind of like. I know that there's emphasis on trying to kind of present and pose, and I'm sure you can speak to this, Adam. But it's just like there's ways to manipulate, like you mentioned, like building up the upper body a bit more to create this illusion, and it's just like this immediate kind of lazy option of like, well, I'm just gonna put this on my waist and shrink my muscles down.
Well, and even that, like, so for the competitor that used to use it, because it was popular in the competitor space when I was in there, which is you weaken the muscles. So when you get up on stage, so this is actually a part you just alluded, Justin, to a part of competing that is that I didn't realize would be difficult, or I had to learn how to do. So when you walk out on stage, one of the more challenging things, aside from the fact that you are completely dehydrated, depleted, tired, exhausted, no body fat on you, is you then got to go walk on stage, and you need to keep your core and abs tight the whole time. You got to stay flexed because your cameras are flashing, the judges are watching you, and if you relax your core ever, then your midsection looks soft, your posture doesn't look good, and so while you're walking out there, you're also actively thinking about keeping your core tight, and actually using these works against that because you're atrophying those muscles. Your core, those core muscles are what create that vacuum pose. Sal did a YouTube video on this if you've ever seen it. Those core muscles are what are activated in order to do the vacuum pose and in order to keep your midsection looking tight like that. And so by wearing a waist trainer also makes that worse. About the only thing it does is it atrophies the muscles, which I guess if you measured with a tape measure, and this is why it gets people, is they have someone measure around, oh, your waist is 32 inches, and then they wear a corset for 2 months. It's like, oh, it went down 1 inch. It's like, yeah, but you didn't lose body fat there. You just lost muscle. Because you've casted that area. And I love the analogy used of like, could you imagine our clients, because I had plenty of female clients come to me like, Adam, I just wish my thighs were smaller. And I went, you know what we should do? Let's going to put them in a wheelchair. Yeah, put them in a cast, or I'm going to put you in a wheelchair for the next
crutches.
Yeah, for the next 3 months, or wear crutches for the next 3 months.
You'll
Don't worry.
lose so much
Don't
size.
worry. We'll lose some inches. They would look
you.
at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
Yet we're doing that with these corsets. It's
I
crazy.
know somebody's caused a bowel obstruction.
Oh yeah, there's
somebody wore it so tight that they actually had to get some of their bowel resected. Because
what's crazy? So the question's presented perfectly. It says, "Are any real benefits from training?" No.
Yeah, we were just going through none.
There's real benefits from it. It's all bad. Everything, even the thing that some people think is positive, which is the slight, is bad.
You know what's stupid about this too, which is interesting, is
It doesn't last.
the whole reason why the whole small waist, wide shoulders thing in bodybuilding became a thing is because in nature, when you see someone, especially a male, with wide shoulders, smaller waist, it signifies higher testosterone, more muscle, less body fat. But if you take that to the extreme, you actually reduce athletic performance. In fact, when you look at the strongest, most athletic individuals, they don't have tiny little waists. They don't have tiny little waists. They have to have some strength to their waist in order to produce force. This is why you see like those high-level CrossFit athletes, which, you
get the blocked out abs.
you tend to see that because now, of course, there's a bit of a self-selection bias with high-level athletes that get to that level. They train hard, but they don't have these little tiny waists because they're performing at high levels. So that whole
snap in half.
Yeah, and bodybuilding has taken things to such ridiculous extremes, right? Where it's all about how you look. But yeah, don't wear one of these. And if you do, don't let me see you wearing one of these because I'm probably going to shame you.
Don't advertise it. We'll come after you.
Next question is from the Crafting Space for Bev T. Is it a good idea to increase your NEAT before starting some sort of workout?
So NEAT stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This essentially represents all of the activity that you do that is not part of a structured workout. So workouts, structured and planned, involve programming. Activity is just movement throughout the day. Is it a good idea to do one before the other? It doesn't matter to me which one you do first, but I love increasing activity throughout the day for
accumulation of all movement throughout the day. I mean, that's really what you need to consider.
That, just so you know, that technically wouldn't fall into the category of NEAT. NEAT is supposed to be the things that we do subconsciously ticks, tapping, moving. Like it's a calculation of all these little,
just how much you move that's not working out.
Right. No. And actively going after steps or walking would not be included in that. That's actually walking. That's activity. So
right. But there's like this gray area, right? Where it's like, well, I got to walk to the grocery store. Let me park further.
Right. But you are intentionally doing that. Here, there's a couple ways I could answer this question. Like, I do love, and it's so different than how I would approach this as a young trainer. So when I have a family member who has struggled with weight most of their life and has never really been consistent with training, I almost always actually recommend this direction before they get on this crazy workout plan they're going to do. Because it never fails. Every year, these family members that I have get motivated by something. The doctor told them something about them currently, or someone made a comment, or they saw a picture of themselves, and then they decide, my friend's doing the ketogenic diet and they're doing this, I'm gonna do these things. And so typically what I like to do is like, you know what? Let's just start here. What I want you to try and do is every single day, go for a 30-minute walk that you didn't currently do outside of your current activity, and start there. And then I want you to start with 1 day of lifting, and then it's going to look like that. And then, so I love the idea of starting with just moving more and creating activity that's easy for you to build into your routine, and then building on that versus the doing it all. I thought
that was a better idea anyway. And two, like, because I know there was some emphasis in the tech world, which of course they always look at it like so much of a binary thing, like, oh, well, this, burns X amount of calories, and so therefore it's good. But like to stand more often, right? And to not sit down quite as much. That's a feat in itself for like some of these people that are so incredibly sedentary. And so to just know kind of like who you're talking to makes a big difference, because just to tell them to go out for like a mile walk or something, for some people is like a huge feat. So yeah, the little things, obviously tackle those like accomplishable wins first.
Yeah, look, if you're going to do a structured workout, you're trying to maximize time, strength train. We've talked about that a million times. And then make your lifestyle more active. That's the best way to put it. Yeah. So think about your normal day. Okay, so I wake up, I drive in the car, I get to work. Okay, I always park in this area. From now on, since I go to work 5 days a week, I'm going to park way over there. Cool, there's one thing. Okay, during the day, I'm at my desk, and I have to get up to go to the bathroom, 4 times a day I got to pee. Okay, I'm not going to use the bathroom that's on my floor. I'm going to use the bathroom from now on that's on the second floor, which means I'm going to have to kind of go up the stairs. There's another thing, right? I'm going to stand at my desk. I'm going to move more while doing these different things. I fold clothes. Normally I sit down on the couch and I fold clothes. I'm going to stand and fold clothes. You know what? Normally while I'm cooking dinner, but I'm going to put music on and I'm going to dance while I do it. Like, these are all ideas and ways to just make yourself move more while doing what you normally do. And it sounds trivial. Doesn't sound like it's a big deal. It's a huge deal, because this is what you do every day, all day long. It makes such a big difference. This one thing right here could significantly impact most people's health.
It makes a big difference personally for myself. This is like one of my favorite reasons to track steps, is not because there's something magical about it.
So you just know.
Just so I know. I mean, I can't tell you how many times in the last like 3-4 months, because I've been doing so much of the tracking food steps and all stuff like that, where I know that I'm at 4,000 or 5,000 steps for the day, and I currently want to be getting 10,000 steps. And because of that, it's like I'm extra motivated to clean the house and go. I'm going to wash my car myself instead of hiring someone else to do it. Like, I do these things that, because I'm also trying to achieve a goal. And so then it's like, oh, I needed to do that anyways. Or I may as well walk and do it, or I may as well do that labor that I was going to hire someone else to do because I also want to achieve it. So I love tracking steps and giving myself step goals incrementally, like even small ones, because it helps us with those little choices where we can choose to sit down and do something, or I can choose to get up and go do it.
You know, it's a good one is if you have kids, if you have little kids, try to actively play with them as often as possible. You're tired, you'd rather watch TV with them or play on the floor with them. Come up with game. I do this all the time when I'm hanging out with them. Like, all right, we're gonna get up and run. I'm gonna chase you guys. And it's just more activity. By the way, the kids love it. It's like so many wins by doing something like that. But just think about your day like that. And it doesn't change all the things that you normally accomplish. It just makes them more active, essentially. By the way, we are running a sale this month on some workout programs. MAPS Aesthetic and MAPS Symmetry, both very popular programs, both 50% off. If you're interested, go to mapsfitnessproducts.com, but use the code December50 for the discount. All right, here comes the show.
Next question is from Owl Patty 78. I'm currently on a GLP-1 and I'm not losing any more weight. I don't want to increase the dose anymore because I already have a hard time eating enough and I don't want to lose too much muscle. Should I lower my dose and start a reverse diet?
Yes.
Yep.
This is the problem people are going to run into on GLP-1s like Ozempic, Wegovy.
Most common thing we saw.
Yes, like you go on a GLP-1 and
Should have been in our group.
Yep.
and what it does, in essence, a lot of things it does improves insulin sensitivity, but really what it does, it makes you eat less. And so you just start eating less. Your body eventually matches the caloric intake. So at first, your calories drop. You're burning more than your calories that are coming in, so you lose weight. But eventually, your body learns how to burn less calories, and it typically does this by paring muscle down. And then you stop losing weight, and then you plateau. But the problem is, I'm not eating a lot anyway. I'm on a GLP-1. I mean, 1,000. We saw a lot of people like this in the group that we coached, where we had 50 people that we worked with. Some of them, there were people in there that were eating 1,000 calories a day and had 25 or 30 pounds left to go. And they were like, what do I do? I
Hit a wall.
I can't go lower in my calories.
Yeah.
We're going to have to speed up your metabolism. Well, what does that look like? It looks like eating more and lifting weights. I can't eat more. Go to your doctor, because you got to go to your doctor. Don't take our advice. We're not doctors on this. You ask your doctor.
Gotta get the appetite back.
Can I lower my dose so I can start increasing my caloric intake? And then say this to your doctor: I want to build muscle. Because if you tell them I want to eat more, they'll be like, well, why? Because I'm trying to build muscle. I need to speed up my metabolism. If you don't do this, you're going to stay plateaued. You're not going to be able to continue to burn body fat because you have no room. Yep. You have no room because you're already eating so little. And your body, listen, the human body is so effective at adapting to low calories. I mean, there are studies on POWs where people were prisoners of war who survived on hundreds of calories a day for a long time. The body learns how to slow down. So yeah, you got to reverse diet. You have to slowly increase your calories, lift weights, focus on getting stronger. It's going to take probably 3 months, 6 months or so until you can start dropping the calories again.
I'd say this was probably the number one takeaway for us after running the GLP-1 group. I think the consensus between all of us was that it looks like no matter what your goal is, it's pretty inevitable that at one point these GLP-1 clients will have to reverse diet.
Yep.
We didn't see anybody who had a goal of losing 30, 40, 60 pounds that came on it, lost their 30 to 60 pounds from a straight drop, never had to do anything. Most people saw a significant drop initially, a hard plateau, and then needed to reverse diet, increase calories, lower their dose, strength train, to come back down again. And that was kind of the formula for most everybody. So, and unfortunately, you're just not going to hear this communicated from the doctors. The doctors, it's in their best interest that you are on these GLP-1s for life.
I don't even think they don't even understand reverse dieting.
No.
They don't understand strength.
Right.
No.
So, they're obviously nutrition is not what they specialize in. And it's advantageous for you to be on this GLP-1 forever. Where us as coaches and trainers, that is not in our best interest. And so our goal is to get you off of this thing, use it as a tool because it can be a very effective tool. But the inevitable is true. You're going to have to reverse diet.
I'll even say it is this much. A good coach and trainer is impartial to whether or not you're on this or not. It really depends on what's the best thing for you. And if you're plateaued and your calories are low, they know how to speed up your metabolism. A doctor doesn't understand this because they're not trained in this, but they are trained in medication. And what they will probably offer is, let's raise your dose so you can eat less. You don't want to do that. You will lose more muscle and you'll plateau again and you'll be in a really, really crappy place.
Next question is from Lele Acklin. How much would someone have to pay you all to train?
I don't want to answer this.
You know what?
Okay, listen. If you're going to bring this question,
Why
you better
would you
be better be truthful.
No, so here's the deal.
You're going to get roasted.
No,
for this
here's the
one.
deal with this.
And
okay?
still run all the other things.
Be honest.
No, I'm
Be honest.
I'm going to be very honest.
Okay.
And I'm going to be honest, and I think I can speak for all of us. But if it's wrong for you or different, let me know.
Well,
I
mean,
I know when it comes to this, all of us are pretty purpose driven. The reason why we don't train people is because it doesn't bring us the same joy and value as doing this with the podcast and as what we're doing now, which is training coaches and trainers. Like, we're training coaches and trainers, and that is getting me excited. Like I used to get training clients. So does that mean that I don't like training clients? No, I love working with people. I loved it, but I did it for so long.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it.
It doesn't bring me the same joy as communicating to people on the podcast, getting onto the podcast, talking to lots of other people, doing the other parts of the business.
It pales in comparison to scaling like we're doing.
Or working with trainers and coaches. Like right now, I am far more passionate about working with trainers and coaches and teaching them how to be so good and so effective that has that downstream effect of really shifting the fitness industry and getting other people incredible results.
Yeah, I was going to say, I say, hey, you set the table good for us right there. So now that you set the table good, like everybody's got a number. I mean,
you got a number on
what's it? What would it take
to train?
Now that you set the table,
and
that we're purpose driven,
that's the other one. What kind of client is it?
What kind of client is it?
Yeah,
because I mean, is it? Yeah, but there's
got
got
a needy one.
There's got to be a dollar. Hey, there's got to be a dollar amount that goes like, I'll put up
like
with
a
that
celebrity
shit.
that's just like, I need.
Oh, fuck celebrities! I don't even want to train a celebrity.
Okay, well that's cross that one.
I'll train some rich CEO guy.
No pro sports athlete, no celebrity.
No, look straight up. I'll train someone for free if it's someone I want to work with. I mean, that's the truth. I have friends now that if they ask me, that I really care about.
Hell,
you still?
Hell no.
You don't have friends you really love that you'd be like, let me.
I love a lot of my friends. I wouldn't. No way. It drives me crazy to do this stuff. I would no way. I mean, training is. Yeah, I have to want to train you, but this is like how much would someone have to?
All right,
pay
I'm not
me?
playing. You're right. I got to play.
Yeah, you got to play the game fair. It's like what would someone? What it would cost? There's a dollar amount someone would offer you. Be like, all right, I'll do that.
Was it per session?
Yeah, per hour.
God,
what is it?
I don't know. I don't know, man. That's
I've thought about it. I know.
You have?
Well, yeah, because assholes.
I don't want to go first.
You don't. You said the table nice.
I'm going to add more to yours.
It might be. Who knows? Yeah, mine's $1,500 an hour. That's what it would that's what it would take.
That's it.
Yeah. And the reason why that is because that's what it costs right now for me to spend an hour with somebody talking about business right now.
Yeah, just consult.
And I like
consulting fee.
No, I enjoy that more.
That's what I'm saying.
So the training would have to be at least that or more, or else I wouldn't do it. No, I'd rather help. There's people that I have that are in our circle that are friends of ours that want to pay me that for helping them with the business, and I really enjoy doing that. So I enjoyed it. So in order to train clients, which I get less excited about today than what I used to, obviously, it would need to be at least that or more.
Okay, let me give you a different question.
Okay.
There's a skill or something you really want to learn about, something you're really into. All of us have.
What would you pay?
No, you would do it for a trade. If there's someone that's
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
like
see,
that would be more my angle.
Yeah, because money, I'm like, I don't know.
Wait, that's
I
a great.
want to learn something, and if I can, train somebody and acquire that skill.
I looked up what it would cost to get teach lessons for like a pro driver.
Yeah, see, you would trade for that.
It's crazy money.
Okay.
And I would heartbeat trade for my training. What do you want
me
to
even
trade?
if it wasn't crazy money because you're really valued.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it was cheap, I'd just pay for it. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of money. So it'd be like, hey, your services are valued and mine are valued. Let's trade. That's exactly how I would. That's how I would do that to this day. This day, if there's somebody who's got a skill or service that I really want, I would leverage.
I was thinking about that for like guitar lessons or something crazy, like really becoming like a virtuoso.
Yeah, see, that makes more sense. Yeah, because money wise,
that's why. Okay, but that's by the way, because I know there's some people that have probably freaked out when we said that. I said that number, right? They're just right away like that's ridiculous.
Well,
listen, I'm not charging that. I'm not trying to go get that
fee. That's not that crazy.
So the way I handle people in DMs I just say I don't do it, and they pursue and they go, well, how much? What would it take? And it's just like it's just not worth my time, and I don't want to. And the amount that it would cost you to do it, I wouldn't even feel comfortable charging.
Exactly.
That's how I respond to people is that, listen, it doesn't make sense. It's not a dollar amount thing because there's so many other ways I can make a lot of money that that doesn't even come close to the hourly that would be fair to charge you. But in trade services for somebody else who's an expert in their field, 100%.
Yes, like if I were
100%.
working, if like because I'm really deep in on my spiritual journey, I'm really in that. And if it was someone who was going to really coach me and and teach me theology and move in that direction, I could see myself totally trading for some really intense. Learning and knowledge and debate and discussion, I could totally do something like that. Money, I don't care. Now, working with trainers and coaches right now, working with trainers and coaches right now gets me excited. It gets me psyched to think about working with these trainers that we have. It's taken us 10 years to really approach working with trainers and coaches. And you put me in a room with 10 of them, and you get me talking to them. I mean, if 10 of them were here, I would probably do it for free just to talk to them.
We
and help
did
them
do
out.
that. We did.
I know that's the thing.
MINDPUMP was already successful when we were touring around and doing talks for trainers for free. We were absolutely.
Totally.
So I agree. I mean, that's a really hard question to tackle though, because it's like, how do you not sound like an asshole?
Yeah.
By saying that, it's just like I stay away from talking. I wouldn't even throw a dollar amount.
If it's advice, if I can give it, I give it. You know, and that's just it. It's like, but like spending a lot of time and like making sure it's all planned out and like showing up and physically and all that, like, you know, that's a big ask.
It's a good exercise though for yourself.
It is,
because I mean, you have to. And I guess you reach a point too where time is the most valuable thing to me, more than money.
Totally.
My time is worth so much, and to train a client for an hour isn't just an hour. It's an hour training them, plus the time you spend creating their diet or thinking about their issues or solving their text messages or all the stuff you get with it. So now you're talking about hours of time. And it's like, well, how valuable is my time to me? And it's like, it's less about a certain dollar amount that I think I'm worth training. Yeah. It's more about how much I value my own personal time. And it's like, you're not going to pay me a dollar amount that makes sense for me to give up that time. It just isn't happening unless I was trading it for something else.
What was the most you guys charged back when you were? I think, Justin, you were probably the highest.
Yeah.
Price at one point,
I went
right?
was $3,000 a month.
And that was how many? How often?
It was typically like 4 times a week.
So what is that? That's how many sessions?
I was long gone by 150 an hour is the highest 16. I ever was. That was I never went beyond
so it wasn't
150
like
an hour.
Outrageous, but
it was always,
sounds outrageous.
But it was every month.
Yeah,
like every month. No matter
one
what.
of my friends was charging $5,000. Again, I took that model from one of my friends who was charging $5,000.
That's about right. It's close to where I was. 200 a session was the most, but this was 10 years ago too.
That was
the most that I was charging.
Yeah, well, I haven't trained anybody for 20 or 15 plus years. It's been a long time since I've trained at one. No, 150 was the most that I ever charged for anybody.
Which is that was like high
back then. That was considered as high as it goes. Like, the Bay Area, you know, I didn't know anybody charging more than 150.
No, not
back
then.
No,
yeah,
not then.
But I mean, now it's not. It's again, it's less about the dollar amount and it's more about the time.
Yeah, I would really want to feel like it's something I'm really passionate about.
But I like the way you presented that with if it was you're more.
I knew you guys would say that.
Yeah, you're more likely to give me if it was something that you have that you could trade with me. That I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Like I want to spend time with that person to learn from them from something.
Yeah,
that I'm into.
yeah. No,
100%.
You could show me this, and I show you that. Because literally, I looked at the race car thing. I was like, fuck, that's a lot of money. I was like, how bad do I want to get good at this?
Yeah, they're making a killing.
$50,000 for like X amount of laps. Like, so a day would cost me $50,000.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow.
So, but I mean, shit, it's not unrealistic. I have executive CEO friends that charge huge money to meet with them. I mean, we had Jasmine, our friend, what she paid to spend a day with Gary Vee was crazy.
Oh wow!
Yeah, crazy. And and if you ask her, she'll say it was worth every penny.
Benefit,
yeah, worth every penny. So, I mean, that if you want that kind of access to the, you know, it's like you got to pay that stuff. So. Awesome. I mean, I wouldn't, but.
All right, I know you liked that episode. If you did, check this one out. 30% body fat. For men, this is way too high. This is actually a bit high for women as well. So in today's episode, we're talking about how you can go from 30 to 10. What is 10% body fat? This is when you have a visible six-pack. Can you go from 30 to 10%? Yes, it's possible, but not if you guess along the way. So we're going to talk about how you can do that in today's episode.
Now, there's a huge range, right, of like body types.
Yes.
Some people can run a little bit heavier or a little bit higher body.